Good morning, guys. Okay, so today's lesson is on Intro to Organic Chem. This is the pretty much going to be the main lesson of Intro Organic Chem, and this segment will be the segment that's tested for your MIA exam. So please pay attention to it. Let's take a look. So these are the topics in Organic Chem, but tested for MYE, it's only these two topics. And if you just think with me, logically, right, there's only so many things they can test in the first two topics. And they must test it. Doesn't that mean that whatever you study for these two topics pretty much is confirmed come out? Doesn't that mean free mark? Right. Compared to a normal O-level exam, you got 5 topics. They will test you things from across the 5 topics. Probability-wise, it will be, maybe 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 things you study will come out. But this one, pretty much everything will come out. So, pay attention. Let's go. So first and foremost, what is organic compound? So organic, there's a different meaning of organic in the real life sense and in chemistry sense. Real life sense, organic just means, these vegetables are very organic. Simply means the fertilizer that they use, no harmful pesticides and everything. But in organic chem, the organic means something. It means that it must contain carbon, hydrogen. Sometimes it contains O, Cl, P, N. So it must be carbon based. That's why perhaps you heard of this word called carbon based. So you see an asterisk here because this is the first definition they can test you. And I can tell you for organic chem, there's about 3 to 4 definitions they will definitely test in any exam in O-level. So, and a few of them, 1 or 2 of them is in this topic. These first 2 topics. So, you get the link. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, organic compound are compounds that contain only H and C. Wow, so cool, so smart. Yeah, hydrogen, carbon. Yay. Okay, next. Okay, homologous series. This is a second definition that is pretty key that they will test you in O-level chemistry. So what is homologous series? Just think of homologous series as a family. So in a family, what is that one thing people see? They know that you are one family. Typically, a surname. I mean, if your surname is common, then maybe not that obvious. But let's say for me, my surname is Wan. If you see people with the name of Wan, it's a good chance, and they're hanging out with me, it's a good chance they might be my family in some sense. So the idea of a family, the surname is like a homologous series. That's why you look at the definition, it says a family of organic compound. But that is actually not what I'm looking out for. When I mark, the key thing I'm looking out for is called the same functional group and the similar chemical properties. Both must come together. If you have one and not the other, you will not get the 1 mark. So what is functional group? It's basically things that you can see. It's like they see your surname, or likely they are same group. Okay. So there are some examples of homologous series: alkane, alkene, alcohol, carboxylic acid, ester, amide, amine. These are the ones in your syllabus per se. That's about it. If you go JC and you decide to take chem, you will deal with more things like arene, benzene, which is basically ketone, aldehyde, acyl chloride, so on and so forth. So definition is key here. So a homologous series is basically a family of organic compounds or a group of organic compounds with the same functional group, which means they have the similar chemical properties. So it must be there. Okay, ignore this. Okay, so what's a functional group then? A functional group is basically an atom or a group of atoms that gives its characteristic property. You realize there's no asterisk here? We don't usually test you the definition of functional group. It's just for you to understand and recognize. Because more often than not, I might give you a totally new compound and ask you what is the functional group. You just look at it. Oh, I see C-double-bond-C. This is an alkene. That's about it. So alkane is technically no functional group. So we have nothing. So all you have is just CH bond, C single H, C single C. There's no double bond of any sort. There's no O, there's no whatever. It's just all C and H and single bonds. Alkene. Alkene is C double bond C. You notice I wrote down name. Sometimes they will ask you, name the functional group. And the most common mistake is alkene alkene functional group lah. So it's different terms Homologous series means the family. The family. Or sometimes you want to call it a clan, whatever you call it. Functional group means the surname. It's like technically all the Tan family, all the people with the Tan surname they're technically from the same clan technically, but clan is like a way bigger idea. So carbon dash carbon double bond, that's why alkene. Hydroxyl group is LOH. Carboxyl group. So these are the general things that we can see that we need to be familiar with. But for the sake of mid-year exam only tested on alkane and intro, this is intro. Wow, that's so easy. Okay, next. So they are all in this particular, they are same clan same family so they definitely got the same pattern one lah. What is that pattern? So this is the pattern. They have the same functional group, which means they react in a particular manner. But so chemically they are pretty much the same, but physically is different. There's a gradual change. Why gradual change? Because each member differs by CH2. For example, alkane, this is the one you learn, right? Methane, CH4. Ethane, the next one is, this is plus CH2. Third one, plus another CH2. So there is any homologous series, any, can even be some weird thing that you never heard before. But each member differs by CH2. For example, alkyne, you don't learn alkyne, not even in JC. But let's say I tell you, ethyne is C2H2. Propyne is the next member, which is plus CH2. What if the question now says, can you give me the formula for butane? I plus another CH2. So I get C4H6. So in any family, in any homologous series, each successive member differs by CH2. That is the unique characteristic of the family. Alright. Okay, next. Naming is a little bit of a pain. So if you look at the slides, it will be things like prefix. Then something about along the line of you have suffix. I cannot. I don't too much English words. So I will give you my hashtag hack. Alright. So my hashtag hack is this. For naming, is this. So you will see this term called IUPAC. What is IUPAC? I don't know PAC. So IUPAC means it's actually it's a acronym. Basically, it's a international organization, a globally recognized way of naming something. So honestly, it doesn't mean anything to you. Just give me the real name. For example, like ethanoic acid is the real name, but sometimes you have those informal name. You may hear things like acetic acid, which is not the real name lah. So first step, you will determine the longest uninterrupted carbon chain. What? What got snake? What? So, perhaps you remember got this game last time on your phone, like the very old version of phone. It's called Snake. So you realize that the snake, that game, the snake can go round and round and round and round and round and round and round. So so it doesn't mean that you look at for the carbon, you don't just look at the straight carbon. You look for the longest chain. What do I mean? Let's take a look. So in this case, the longest carbon is 4. No matter how you look at it, it's 4. But things like so let's say So if you just very rigidly look at it and go like, oh, it must be either 4 or 3 then you are wrong in both cases, because you are looking for the longest uninterrupted carbon. And in that case, the longest carbon is 5 carbon, which means I'll call this a pentane. A snake you don't care the straightest, you look for the longest uninterrupted carbon. That's the idea there. Anyway, going back to the hashtag hack. Second step, there may be many groups inside the organic compound. I know, it can happen. But honestly, among the many group, there must be one group that is the boss, the strongest, the main one. So you must find the main one. And everything else is like the caliphares, the sidekicks. And you must determine the direction. And we'll choose the smallest number. So let's have more example. So here, you will see some things here. So these are some terms that you should know. So you are expected to know the first 4 carbon of the homologous series in O-level chem. How to know? Very simple. When it's 1 carbon, right, it's often known as meth. Not like the drug meth, but like meth. 2 carbon is called 3 carbon is prop. And 4 carbon is just butter. Huh? What? So don't panic. Let's take a look then. So let's say for this particular alkane group here. First carbon, prop, but. And look at the color, the one that's highlighted in red. Alkane ends with ANE. Methane ends with ANE. Ethane ends with ANE. Propane ends with ANE. Butane ends with ANE. I am a genius. You are a genius. Realize their naming got pattern ones, yeah? There is a pattern. So the homologous series will give you an idea on how to name the thing. Now you look at the green color one. Alkene, ENE. Ethene, ENE. Propene, ENE. Butene, ENE. Wow, mind-blowing. Yeah, so these are the ones, that's the pattern there. Alkane all ends with ANE. Alkene all ends with ENE. Alcohol all ends with OL. So let's say I just randomly say, okay, now can you name me a 3 carbon alcohol? Okay, 3 carbon. Mother eat peanut butter. P, prop. So it's a prop. Alcohol is OL, all. So it's propanol. That's it. So naming the basic version is not that difficult. So now we look at the third step. So first step, I find the longest carbon. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That's why I just said butane, no? Okay. But you notice there is an add-on. It's like you order a meal, you got your main meal, and you got an add-on, the upsize or something. This add-on, you realize this add-on, right, is how many carbon? It's 1 carbon. Then can I say it's a methane butane? Wait, what? That sounds so weird. You don't call it a methane. So when you are a side chain, you are a sidekick. Your name will be different. So you no longer call a methane. What do you call yourself? You call yourself methyl. So when it's a side group, it's known as an alkyl group. Notice YL. Oh, so this side group got 1 carbon, meth. So I call it methyl. So I call this methyl butane. Then how come got number one? Okay, so why got number? Let's take a look at the number thing. So let's say if I count from the left hand side, this is my first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. Okay, which means I have something at the third carbon. Cool. What if I count from the right hand side? If that's the case, then this is the first carbon. Second, third, fourth. got the something is on the second carbon. So if I count from the left, it's 3. I count from the right, it's 2. I'll of course choose the one that make my life easier, the one that's smallest. So therefore, I decided count from the right wins. So that's why I call this 2-methylbutane. I don't call it 3-methylbutane. That's all. That's all there is to naming. Yay! The toughest O-level can test you is maximum 2 group. Maximum. Beyond that, that's just madness, bro. Too much. Alright? Okay, so digest. You need to pause the video, by all means go ahead. You need to replay a bit, by all means go ahead. I'm just telling you. So, now let's proceed to other examples. To practice. Next. So, okay. So in this case, 4 carbon. Longest is 4. So I call it a but. Or I call it and I see a C double bond C. The one in green is actually an alkene. So naturally, you want to write down butene, no? But honestly, if you see, okay, whenever there is a lack, whenever you don't see a number, there is no number, right? It is assumed that it's first carbon. If you are the first, you don't need to write first one. You are the strongest already. Right? You are the not strongest. You are the, and there's no number. You are the first. So let's take a look. If I come on the left, I see my C double bond C. It first appear on the second carbon, so you can see 1, 2, second carbon. So it's 2. If I count from the right, first carbon, second carbon, oh, again 2. Oh, in this case, honestly, there's no difference whether it's left or right. So instead of butene, I call it but, 2 in. Before the ene, there is a 2. That's all. But 2 in. There's no add-ons, there's no additional groups apart from the main chain. Oh, cool. So what about this case? So longest carbon would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon. Mother eat peanut butter. But, oh, I see a C double bond C. So it's butene. Then I should check the position of the group, which is the green thing. So if I count from the left, is first carbon. It first appears on the first carbon. If I count from the right, it will first appear on the third carbon. So do I call it butene or but3-ene? Of course, you choose the smallest number, hence it is known as butene. That's all. Oh, yep. Okay, next one. 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon. So it's prop. And you see a OH. So I call it propanol. Then I will check the position. If the OH, if I come from the left, it's at the third position. But if I come from the right, it's the first position. So I can either call it propan-3-ol or propanol. Of course, I choose the easiest one, propanol. Hence, you get propanol. Alright, next example. What is this? Same thing. Longest carbon. Oh, must ban. Okay, ban. I'm looking for the longest carbon. So 3 carbon. So it's same thing, propanol. Then I will check where did the OH group appear. If I count from the left, it's 2. I count from the other end, it's 2. So I cannot call this propanol. I call it propan, then 2-ol. Before the ol, there's a 2. That tells me that the alcohol is on the second position. Oh, yeah, that's the main idea here. And I honestly think this is to the extent that they will test you, like for O-level. 2 groups is super duper rare already, actually. This is like the norm. That's it. Next, this one, same thing. Longest carbon, 4. So it's a mother eat peanut butter, but butane. Then you have this group, the Cl at the which carbon? So if I count from the left, it's the third carbon. I count from the right, it's second carbon. Again, we choose the shortest. So it will be right to left. So I call this 2-chlorobutane. Cool. So you notice, okay, next one. It's called 2,2-dichlorobutane, meaning or reasoning because we said dichloro. Di means 2 times chlorine. So if you say 2 chlorine group, shouldn't there be 2 numbers? Because each number represents 1 group. So anybody who read your name, they should be able to draw the same structure. So if I just say, oh, it is 2-dichlorobutane, then I will go like, where's the other chlorine? What position is it in? So if there's 2 group, 2 number law, 3 group, 3 number law, that's the idea. So there are some more examples here. You can take a look. Feel free to pause it if need be. Okay, so that's the idea of naming. So this is a table, nothing new. Carboxylic acid, okay, so 1 carbon, methanoic acid. 2 carbon, ethanoic acid. Wow, you see that it has a pattern. It really has a pattern to it. So I'm like, cool, bring it on, yo. Okay, next. Okay, so natural gas is a source of energy. I believe you may have heard of that term before. Natural gas, petroleum, So you see there's something here that's highlighted in yellow. It's good to know. We don't really test you a definition on that, but that is actually the meaning of it. So petroleum, right, is also called crude oil. This one you should know. So natural gas is mainly made of methane. So, then you might have this funny thought in your mind. Oh, that means when I fart, my fart is natural gas. So I'm a precious resource. Yes, you are all precious. Alright, let's take a look at the next part. So there is this diagram here. Cool. So this shows you how exactly oil is formed. Would I test you on this? No lah, it's just, this is how it's made. This also tell you that oil itself is not renewable. Yeah, it is lah. You give me 1,000,000 years, maybe you will be ready. So this is something that we know already. We did this in Sec 3, separation technique. Remember? Your fractional distillation. You can use it to separate crude oil. There you have it. So it's the same idea here. So the only new thing here is this. They call it fraction. So basically each component, right, they are known as fraction. So something that's lighter means they have lesser carbon, which also means they have a lower boiling point. Oh wow, there's a diagram here. Okay, so let me explain to you. So this is, you need to know this. You need to know how this separation of crude oil works. It's in the syllabus. They have tested in O-level before. So let me explain to you how do you get the marks. So I remember seeing the question as an explanation question about 2 or 3 marks. Then when you see the question and you try to do the question, you will feel very lost. So actually, if you break it down, it's not that difficult. Why? First, I heat petroleum to become a gas. Cool. Then the gas goes into the cooler fractionating column. Okay. And because it's cooler, the vapor will now cool and condense. Okay, so the thing boil, become gas, go into the fractionating column, which is colder. Now it cool and condense. Not exactly rocket science. Okay, I don't mind. Then what happens next? Technically you're done, right? But you have to tell me some more things to warrant that 2 to 3 marks. What is the extra thing? You need to tell me that lighter fraction with lower boiling point, they are collected at the top as gases. And the heavier fractions, they'll be collected at the bottom. That's all. That will give you 2 or 3 marks. It doesn't always come out, but I've seen it being tested for O-level before. So it's something that I think is worthwhile to study for. Alright. Don't worry, you don't need to draw the diagram. I don't even know how to draw this diagram, so it's fine. Next. So in your syllabus, you need to know which. So there are 7 components here. You technically need to know where each component is, which one comes first, and everything, along with their uses. Yes, you should, lah. But if I were you, if I want to strategize, so again, this is not advice, this is just analysis, outside analysis. So if I were you, and outside analysis, need to memorize all these things that are really not very useful to me in real life for a potential of what, 1-2 marks? I would rather not lah. Yeah, so that is not my advice. That is merely an outsider analysis. So by right, this is in syllabus lah, okay? Alright, next. So you need to know the competing uses of petroleum. Competing uses of petroleum? What is this? So, what is happening? So actually, petroleum, honestly, I think of petroleum, I think of oil. Oil means burn to energy. So that is what you will think. I won't blame you for that. And that is generally true. But, there is another main thing that you are probably not aware of. It is used as a chemical feedstock. What's chemical feedstock? It's just another name to show that it's a professional term we use. So it's used for the manufacture of plastic, detergent, medicine, fertilizer, pesticide, rubber. Which actually, you think of it, is pretty part of our daily life. So if there's no oil, that's it. And remember, and you do realize now got oil crisis, right? Like the price of oil is mad. It rose from what? 80 plus USD. Now it's 100 plus USD. You might be wondering, so what? Who cares? I don't drive, But because oil is used to make all these things, and all these things is in your real life, means it will translate to everything in our life cost more. Does that mean my salary increase more? Like your joke. Our salary usually don't increase, but things will cost more. So it is a very big deal. It's a real problem now because of the Ukraine-Russia war. FYI. So what do you need to know? You need to know that petroleum or crude oil is used for fuel and chemical feedstock, which is to manufacture all these things. Which means what? So it's not renewable because it takes millions of years. So you need to be able to write out and say that, it is used for fuel and it is also used in chemical feedstock in industries to make plastics, for example. That's all. That's what you need to know. The next segment is how do you conserve petroleum? This one is in syllabus. I think you can self-read. Sounds a little bit like social studies and common sense, but it is what it is. But honestly, all this makes sense. All this is the only way to reduce the use of oil, crude oil. Solar panel, lor. That's why you hear of this thing called the Singapore Green Plan. Right? I think I mentioned it last year. And perhaps you heard it in social studies, I think. Green Plan is important. Every school, or most schools, they are going to put solar panel, extract more energy. Singapore very hot, hot energy, solar energy. Oh, very good, very good. All these kind of things, which is true it does save the environment. Less oil, then less global warming. And global warming is really destroying the planet left, right, center. You are already feeling it now. So we do our part to save the earth, which in return saves us . alternative fuel, biofuel, gasohol, or more importantly, I think the future of fuel, right, is called not renewable fuel, you see. Because renewable fuel are things like what? Solar energy, wind energy, which are not exactly consistent. But there's another energy fuel that is really renewable and it's no damage one, no product, no pollutant. Hydrogen lah. You burn hydrogen you get water. Water can drink one. Yeah. But the challenge is to get a large amount of hydrogen gas is a problem. It's very difficult now. Yeah, with that, we are done with intro to organic chem. Wow. So I shall not overload you. I want you to go and revise this intro to organic chem and master it. I will spend a next lesson that I see you, which to go through alkane. That's all I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna stop there and we're gonna focus on revision. Because why? Remember your revision, right? Okay, let me quickly talk about our revision plan, shall we? So you must think that I think perhaps you may have realized that the exam is coming up. Yeah. Your exam is in week, I think it's week 6, is it? Or week 5 Friday, if I'm not wrong. Which means, and this is already week 2. This week, I only seeing you tomorrow. So technically, this is down. Okay lah, not down. We will do intro tomorrow, Thursday. Week 3, week 4, week 5. We are very short on time. So I really need you to cooperate with me so that we can actually best prepare for exam, alright? So we look at it that way. Next week, we have Monday, 40 minutes. We have Tuesday, prac. We are doing our last prac of the term. We have Wednesday, 40 minutes, which is really not a lot of time. Thursday, 1 hour. Following week, we have Tuesday, 1 hour. Thursday, 1 hour 20. So at this moment, you might be thinking, wow, so many time, don't need panic. But you ask yourself, you touch your heart and you ask yourself, are you ready to take exam at this moment? Do you think you can pass? Oh, maybe I can pass. But are you just satisfied with the pass? It's not about competing. It's about, is that what I really can only get? It's always good to aim higher. I believe you all can achieve better. Right? So why limit yourself? Anyway, so this is all the time I have left with you. You might be thinking, oh, a lot. And actually, honestly, not a lot. So if I were to break it down for you, next Monday, I go through organic. And maybe next Wednesday, remember you done the planning topic already? So what do you need to go through? I still got your 2012 O-level paper, which a lot of you haven't handed in. You hand in, I can mark, I can give you feedback. You don't hand in, it's your loss. Really, it's your loss. We have this paper to go through. I would probably take 2 lessons at least to go through the paper. It's not really a simple short paper. We haven't really talked about practical paper, isn't it? Practical papers, like, have you ever seen a full practical paper? Have you ever tried a full practical paper? The answer is no, right? So maybe somewhere along the line, I'll give you a practical paper to do, and maybe I can go through a practical paper with you. So perhaps you think with me, this 1 hour I'll go through with you, then I make you do, then after that, I will go through a prac paper that you have done. Yeah, it makes sense, ma. I mean, I can always throw you in the deep end and go do. I tend to do that sometimes, you know, but if I go through with you once, you absorb what you can, you learn the tricks, then you actually try on your own under time conditions. Oh, so this is where I am now. This is what I can use my newfound knowledge to help me. Oh, yeah. Then you must realize that means I only have like what, not much time left leh. I technically only have 4 lessons left. Other than all those parts. 4 lessons left for me an exam. Wow, that is not a lot of time. So today, listen to this thing, finish intro. Then those who owe me the paper or the O-level paper, give me ASAP, ASAP, so I can help you mark and give you the feedback. Yeah, alright, so this is the rough revision schedule that we have. Time is really tight, guys. Alright, so today just finish this. Thank you. Bye bye.